Hello, everyone. I'm Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon, representing Pennsylvania's 5th Congressional District. It's an honor to be here at the Library of Congress with VHP Director Monica Mohindra to discuss the Veterans History Project. As the daughter, granddaughter, niece, and sister of veterans, I have a deep and personal respect for the sacrifices of those who've served our country. My office has been really focused and excited about getting the Veterans History Project off the ground in PA5. Director Monica, can you share a little bit of background about the Veterans History Project?
Nearly 25 years ago, Congress created the Veterans History Project to ensure that all U.S. military veterans across the country could share their personal perspective, their stories, their experience. And that's captured through oral histories, but also personal narratives through photographs, letters, diaries, journals, that sort of thing. And the idea is really to ensure that the story of U.S. military service and sacrifice, both for the veterans and for their family members, is preserved and shared.
So what happens to a veteran's story when it comes to the Library of Congress?
Well, we are the nation's oldest federal cultural institution. The minute it comes in our doors, it is preserved with all of the highest archival standards. It is stabilized. It is prepared to be served here in the American Folklife Center reading room and to be served to the public, whether immediately as possible through the reading rooms or in the future on the website. Nearly 80% of our collections are available online so that researchers and users across the country and even the world can hear directly from these veterans.
Well, what makes the Veterans History Project unique?
What makes it unique is each individual's story, that it comes here and has a platform. Each veteran's story is important and is needed to understand the fullness of how we're connected to each other through our shared history.
Well, as I shared with you, I was really interested to hear about the project because I have become the collector of my family's veterans' military history. My great uncle, Robert F. Scanlon, served in the American Expeditionary Force and died in France in 1918 when he was only 19 years old. So it just has put so much perspective and color on the family history of his service to be able to share his picture as a young man going off to serve in the Army. I have letters that he wrote home to his mother and his father and his sister Alice. And then when he passed, they received a letter from a priest serving with his unit explaining how brave he'd been and how well respected he was by his colleagues. And then, we have just materials that the Army sent, signed by General Pershing, commemorating his sacrifice. So it really brought it all home to be able to see all these materials. So is that the kind of thing that we're talking about here at the Veterans History Project?
It is the perfect example. The collections reach from World War I through the more recent conflicts, and we're talking about wartime, conflict, peacetime since that time. So absolutely having this historical perspective on World War I is important, but also Congress saw fit to expand the mission of the Veterans History Project with the Voices Act in 2016. And the idea there was to ensure that family members, those who have Gold Star losses, would be able to share the first-person experience of what that was like, of that type of service and sacrifice. So these materials really do help us all to understand these enriching voices to the military history and our connection to each other.
My district includes 2 historic military installations, the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, which of course produced so many ships during World War II, and Fort Mifflin, which dates all the way back to the founding of our country. And we're home to tens of thousands of veterans who've served our country. There's so much history there, but it is a really meaningful opportunity when we have Veterans Day, when we provide medals that people had been unable to access before, to hear the family stories and see how meaningful it is to families to be able to access their relatives' history.
So often we have individuals and family members who come to the library's website or to the reading rooms, and they're looking for people who served in the same battle, the same location, the same branch, to understand that story more deeply and to understand their own history as told through the larger picture of American history. In the 5th District, you have so many veterans. I believe it's 118,000 veterans in the 5th District, and in Pennsylvania, according to the VA, in 2023, they said there were 688,000 veterans. Fortunately for us, we currently have 4,000 veterans from Pennsylvania that are represented in the Veterans History Project collections now.
Well, my office is really excited to hear the stories of all of our veterans, from wartime to peacetime activity, active duty, National Guard, everything in between. Each story is unique, and that is what seems to make the Veterans History Project so special.
Absolutely. These stories can only tell the fullness of our experience through the broad perspective as many backgrounds as possible. We're talking geographic, personal background, even type of duty and service. It's important to understand it's not just, from the foxhole, but that there are all kinds of duties. You mentioned the priests. Chaplains are another really important part of this. And it is the totality of each individual voice that comes together that helps us understand better these important themes and topics.
Sure, from the war front to the home front and everything in between. Well, my office is really proud to partner with the Library of Congress to help preserve the stories of our veterans and Gold Star family members from across Pennsylvania's 5th Congressional District. So if you're interested in sharing your story, please visit our website at scanlon.house.gov and fill out the questionnaire. You can also call my office at 610-626-2020 or send our team an email at pa05vhp@mail.house.gov. And you can learn more about the Veterans History Project by visiting the Library of Congress's website at www.loc.gov.
Absolutely, and we so appreciate your willingness to help us get the word out, particularly in Pennsylvania. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We look forward to hearing from you.